Mr. Eli Roth, give it up.
Thank you. I feel like every girl I meet, I have to download some new app. What happened to meeting a girl in the park and saying, hey, how about a cup of coffee?
But I have my first question. Tell me you're better at dating than that.
Well, sadly, that's based on a lot of true stories.
Oh.
I know, Gringo. Well, actually, it's funny because I turned 41, and I've never been married. And a lot of my friends who are married are divorced, and it's really funny the conversations I have with them because, I still date a lot, and they're like, and they'll call me and be like, yeah, I don't know, I was out, and they're divorced, and they have an 8-year-old kid, and then they'll get out and be like, no, I was out, and it was cool, and I met this girl, and it was really great, and I got her number, and then I called her, and I wanted to ask her out, and I'm like, whoa, you called her? Are you nuts? And they're like, well, no, why? I was like, wait, you called a girl to ask her on a date? He's like, yeah. I'm like, did you leave a message? They're like, yeah, of course. I'm like, I was like, she probably thinks you're a serial killer. They're like, what are you talking about? I'm like, you didn't send her a text? They're like, well, a text, that's rude. It's so impersonal. I was like, oh my God. You don't know. I'm like, are you on Twitter? No. They're like, well, I'm on Facebook. I couldn't find her. I thought I'd friend request her. I was like, wow, you've no idea how fast this stuff moves. So I wanted to write a character like that who was a nice guy and probably got girls in college when you met them and asked them for a cup of coffee in the park. And now as a kid, he's just he has no idea what WhatsApp is and, Instagram. It's all completely beyond him. He's not a dork in that sense. He knows how to use FaceTime, but he has absolutely no game with girls. It's really funny how the rules of dating, when you fully, Nicolas Lopez talks about it, his Cape Panda movies are very funny. Basically, he made a movie called My Life, Cape Panda Tu Vida, which is on Netflix, very funny. And then he did the sequel, My Wedding, Cape Panda Tu Boda, and then My Family, Cape Panda Tu Familia. And in My Wedding, it talks about how the new breaking up is once you delete the hard drive, that's it.
Whoa.
If you delete the photos of them off your hard drive, or the external drive, then it's over. And now the new cheating is if I go an episode ahead of Game of Thrones without my girlfriend, it's over. Literally, our relationship will end.
Wow.
Couples watch shows together, and if it's the new cheating.
I'm married. I understand.
You know what I mean? It's worse than cheating. If they go, your significant other goes an episode ahead of you, then you're just kind of.
I've had that argument with my wife because, as Gray and I are journalists and have to kind of keep watching stuff, I've told her I'm sorry, honey, you can't complain that you're behind. And I feel like it's almost like this weird pass towards cheating.
You're basically telling her, honey, I'm cheating on you, and it's got to be fine.
So we wanted to write characters that were modern, that was a single dad, but this is what the modern single dad is, and this is the modern dating. And also to build up the minutia. Really spent a long time building up the characters so that you understand where their decisions come from. Making a huge deal out of nothing. Oh, my God, I met this girl and she likes me and I kind of claimed her, but then this other guy came in and you didn't stick up for me and you encouraged it. When it's really Gringo's fault that he was too much of a pussy to make a move when Irina presented the opportunity to him. But also to have everyone sort of get over by their flaws. Also people understand that Gringo is a daughter, so any decision. The movie's really about moral choices and what would you do in this situation. Okay,
right.
Your friend's there, they lose their hand. You want to help them, but the building might collapse, but they might not ever find it. He could then get you all killed. Then you get out of there, and it's just the basic question that sort of when we were writing is you're running by a building, and you hear a baby crying inside. And we'd all like to think we run in and save the child, but if you have a child, you're going to think twice. And if the aftershocks were 6s and 7s, then every time there's an aftershock, it was another earthquake hitting. So what's the right thing to do? And we wanted to show the ramifications for doing the selfish thing and the ramifications for doing the selfless thing. And then you want to help this person, but this person's slowing you down. And there's all this stuff really did happen the night of the earthquake. The prisons really did break open. There was a tsunami warning that people panicked over. And then they eventually turned off the sirens because it looked like it wasn't going to hit. And then at 5:30 in the morning, when everyone had gone back to sleep, 2,000 people were just wiped out. Literally in their beds, boom, just taken out. But even the underground tunnels where the priests and the nuns would meet and have sex, those tunnels really exist. That is all real. So we tried to get into film there, but they wouldn't let us put cameras in. But a lot of where we filmed was still really destroyed from the earthquake. The cemetery where I'm pinned under that piece of the boulder. I remember looking around and there was all these like skeletons and broken open tombs because all the tombs are stacked, like
Wow.
filing cabinets.
Right.
And I said to Nicolas Lopez, I was like, man, the art department did an amazing job. He's like, ha ha, gringo art department.
Well, now,
I'm like, what? And he's like, these are real, dude. They let us in here an hour ago. There was no set dressing.
Oh,
that's amazing. That's amazing. Now, I want to definitely make sure we get to some questions from the audience. Is there anyone in the audience that's had any questions for Eli?
It can be better.
There's-
Don't be shy. There's one right there.
How did you decide who died in what order?
how did you
we-
decide
yes.
who died in what order?
Well, this is the fun of making an independent movie and doing a low-budget movie, is that part of the fun is you're going to play on audience expectations and subvert those expectations, and you got to do it in a way so that people don't feel betrayed and like, oh, come on, but actually go, oh, I didn't see that coming. What's coming next? So you feel like you're in the hands of an unstable narrator. And, people know that I wrote, co-wrote the movie, I produced it, and I'm starring in it. So they're like, okay, obviously he's going to make himself the hero. And it was fun to sort of play on those expectations, knowing what people were going to probably think of the kind of part I would write for myself. But really, mainly going by what is a terrifying story we can tell that just keeps getting worse and worse and worse and worse for these poor characters. Because my basic feeling is that life truly is a series of horrible disasters for absolutely no reason whatsoever, with no explanation, that you're completely undeserving of, and you just have to avoid them and hope that one doesn't hit you, and then you turn around and the tsunami's there. Like, oh, we're all dead. Like, tsunami's coming for us all.
Now, there's a lot of movies, a lot of slasher movies, a lot of horror movies where you can look at characters early on and kind of tick off and say, all right, this one's going to die, that one's going to die, this one's going to die.
black ones.
I do not mean. Did you consciously try and avoid that in this?
Yeah, not in terms of avoiding casting black ones. We were in Chile. I mean, it's a different story set there.
Yeah, and you
Thanks,
subverted
Gray.
expectations. There's no way to tell.
No,
Like,
no, no.
you
By the
never
way,
know.
don't think. Look, we know every convention of horror movies,
course.
and always
Right.
the black guy's going to die first. So if you have if you make a movie with a a black actor, you're conscious of that, of what the audience is thinking. But we really, we know that there's certain types of people. What's really fun is to reveal who people really are, where you set up, Pollo, and kind of everyone's weakness is what, in a way, f***s them over. Pollo is his dad, it's Ariel, it's his girlfriend, and the texting, and it's my character is the daughter, and the sister's like everything that you think is a good quality about someone winds up, putting them into some serious danger without giving anything away. But it's really fun to play with audience expectations and then really watch heroes arise. And you can't really tell or know what you're going to do or who you are until you're in that situation. There's absolutely no way to know. And it's such a horrible thing. We all have fantasies of how we'd like to behave, but you don't really know how to behave until those survival instincts kick in. And, like with a character like Gringo, he's a lawyer. He's someone who completely lives by rules, and he does everything by the law. So everything he does, he thinks he's behaving. He's like trying to reason with people. He's trying to be rational, and he's in complete anarchy with people that are like a step away from animals that have just broken out of prison and are going completely crazy because society, it's a literal and figurative collapse of society. So it is fun to play on expectations, but what's more fun is when you really let the audience think they know who a character is and then show them what they're really made of.
What is it like watching yourself?
Well, I don't want to stream that, so I can, I don't want to ruin it, but I think every actor has a lot of people have come up to me and they said, I've never wanted to be an actor, but I'd love to die in one of your movies. And it's a very human thing to want to see what you look like when you're dead, because it's the one thing we'll never get to see. I mean, people can even watch their births now if they really want to. They might not remember if they could, watch it, eventually on their parents' iPhones, or which is kind of creepy. But our death we'll never get to see. So it's a natural curiosity, and there's a weird satisfaction that all actors get when they see themselves killed on camera.